What bounces here and there and everywhere?
Find out next on Junk Feud.
Aw, yeah! Welcome to Junk Feud, the podcast about junk food, where we rate and review mystery treats to determine which one will be the undisputed champion of snacks. I'm your host, Mike. Alongside me, as always, Alyssa.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Liz.
So, where do cows hang their paintings?
Where do cows hang their paintings? In the Move?
No.
Like the Louvre, but no. Oh,
in
all right.
the museum.
Oh, in a museum. I guess I was being a little too specific.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that one's pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing like... That wasn't too far.
No.
That was pretty good, though. Hey, and that was a dad joke, a joke you tell to your dad. If you'd like to submit a dad joke for Alyssa to tell me on the show, you can send it in to us via Twitter at JunkFeudPod or via email to junkfeudpod@gmail.com. Liz.
Yeah.
Welcome back once again to the world's yeetest podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, very enthusiastic.
Yes.
Hey, we are on the other side, Liz, of January.
I'm so sad.
I'm sad too. We had fun. There were a lot of good Wawa snacks. We learned a lot about the history of Wawa and all sorts of things about Philadelphia. It was really fun.
Yeah.
We're going to do it again next year. That was, I got to say, doing January, doing the Wawa treats, was pretty nostalgic for me as someone who grew up in the Delaware Valley, in the Philadelphia area.
Beef junkie.
We got some beef jerky. We got some Wawa peach iced tea. We had some tasty cakes. Man, The tasty cakes really brought me back. And of course, the soft pretzels, which I had been eating all week because we had so many that we had to buy to taste them, to try them all out.
Yeah.
Soft pretzels make a good breakfast, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I would have like half of a pretzel every morning for breakfast.
Oh.
It was pretty good. But now, Liz, that January is over, we are sliding like headlong into Valentine's Day season.
Yeah.
It's
lots of candy.
Lots of candy associated with Valentine's Day. It's sort of weird that Valentine's Day is a sort of like a big-ish holiday now.
Yeah.
There's lots of Valentine's Day treats. There's decorations. Valentine's displays are in stores, Alyssa, before Christmas now, if you can believe it.
I know.
I think that's kind of wild.
At our Target, it'll be the end of December and Valentine's will be up already.
Yeah, we're going to save most of this for next week when we do our Valentine's Day themed show. But I don't know. I find it a bit odd, the holiday creep that we have going on here.
Do, 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 do.
You know what's not creepy, Liz?
What?
We've had some new snacks lately, you and I. We've tried a couple of new things.
Yeah, one was interesting.
Yeah, which one was that?
The pickled peanuts.
Peanuts in a pickle from Trader Joe's. These were dill pickle flavored peanuts.
In my opinion, they were kind of chemically and gross, but...
Yeah, I thought they were interesting. I don't think it's going to take me a while to get through the whole bag. I don't think I like them as much as some of the other dill pickle flavored things I've had, especially from Trader Joe's. Like the chips in a pickle that they have there are pretty good.
Come on, guys, do better.
Dill pickle ranch Lay's, those are pretty good. You're making a face. You don't like any of the dill pickle snacks, which I find very odd because you like pickles.
Yeah, but they just taste like chemically and I don't like it.
Some of them do taste a little bit artificial. You had something that was like super natural, though, not artificial at all. You had some toasted sesame nori, Liz. What's nori?
I do not remember having that.
Those are the seaweed snacks that you had?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're called nori.
Oh.
You thought those were pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
They're a little bit salty, a little bit crispy, sometimes even a little bit chewy.
I like them.
I know. You had a whole batch of them downstairs. They're still in a bag.
Yeah. I haven't been able to get to them yet.
You know what else, Liz, is chewy and delicious?
Gummy Bears.
Yeah, that reminds me of this week's snack. Up next on Junk Feud, it's Gummy Bears. Liz, what do you know about Gummy Bears?
Well, I don't know that much, but I know that they're made of gelatin.
Uh-huh.
And I heard a theory that they were that gelatin, it's not a theory, I know it's true, but that gelatin is made from animal stuff.
Yeah, in fact, we've talked about that.
People go vegan.
We've talked about that before on the show. If you are vegetarian or vegan and you want to avoid animal products, it's really difficult to avoid gelatin because it's in a lot of things that are thickened or gummied up in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is, Alyssa, a gummy bear?
It's a tiny bear that tastes like fruit.
Yeah, it's a little bear. It's a small fruit-flavored, gelatin-based candy. It's in the shape of a bear, obviously.
What are your favorites?
My favorite gummy bears?
Yeah. Which one?
Well, you know what? It's very interesting that you bring that up because we're going to do that when we get to the competition because I don't know. I don't know what my favorite flavor of gummy bear is. I haven't ever even thought about this.
My favorite's
Well, save that for... Oh, my goodness. Spoiler alert.
Hey, I didn't finish
5 minutes into the show.
You cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Oh, you want me to edit that out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
No, please.
So, Liz.
I'll edit it out myself.
Okay, sure. You're going to learn how to edit the show in your spare time?
You know you can do that. I have no spare time.
Mm-hmm, that's right. We have plenty of time for gummy bears, though, and gummy bears have evolved quite a bit over time. They are an evolution of old starch-based candies like the Turkish Delight or even Japanese rice candy. Gelatin, like you mentioned, Liz, comes from animal byproducts, but as far as we know, gummy bears don't actually contain any real bears.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. There are, though, if you are concerned about animal byproducts from gelatin, kosher and halal and even vegetarian and vegan versions of gummy bears.
Aren't we trying some of those out today?
We don't have any vegetarian or vegan gummy bears. I couldn't find any on short notice, but we have some interesting kinds of gummy bears that we're going to try for sure. Do you know where gummy bears originally come from?
Germany.
Yeah, gummy bears are a German candy. They are called Gummy Bar.
Gummy Bar.
Gummy Bar, which just means like gummy bear, pretty much. They were originally made from a substance called gum arabic, which was a natural gum from the hardened sap of an acacia tree.
What's an acacia tree?
It's a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, they're very nice looking trees.
Okay.
There's quite a bit of them in Taiwan, actually, as well. Has lots of acacia trees.
Acacia tree.
Acacia trees, that's fun to say.
Are they... I heard they're pretty, right? So...
Yeah.
Are they like... What color are they? Just brown and green?
Most trees are brown and green, yeah. Well, there were plenty of acacia trees in places where you would get gum arabic from to make things like gummy bears, which were, Alyssa, like so many of these older candies that we've talked about, invented by like one person.
Haribo.
Yeah, in this case, a guy named Johannes Hans Riegel Sr. in 1922, a candy maker from Bonn in Germany who founded the Haribo Company. And Haribo, Liz, actually stands for Hans Riegel Bonn. Haribo.
Whoa.
Yeah, and to invent gummy bears, Hans Riegel Sr. was inspired by trained dancing bears at German and other types of European street festivals, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But first we have to ask, Alyssa, what else was going on in 1922?
Wait, I actually just learned something from 1922 today.
Yeah, what's that?
I gotta think back to what class it was. It was social studies.
Okay.
In 1922, they founded King Tut's tomb.
King Tut's tomb was discovered in 1922.
Let's
That's
go!
correct. Liz, that's the first one you've gotten so far in the history of this show.
Oh, yeah.
Big ups to you, Alyssa, and your social studies teacher.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lebar.
Thank you. Shout out to Mr. Lebar. Again, I think he gets a shout out on like every show now.
I know, because he teaches me so much.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Liz, you know what else was doing great?
What?
In 1922, the Eskimo pie was doing great because it was patented. Do you know what an Eskimo pie is?
No.
An Eskimo pie is an ice cream bar. It's a chocolate-coated vanilla ice cream bar on a stick.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you actually
really good.
Put King Tut's tomb was discovered.
I did. It was in the notes because it's kind of a big deal. It was a big thing that happened in 1922.
I learned a lot about King Tut, too.
Yeah, what are some interesting King Tut facts that you have for us here on this show?
Wait.
What is one interesting King Tut fact that you have for us on this show?
King Tut's tomb was made out of solid gold.
Wow, really? Is that so?
Yep.
The entire tomb or just the sarcophagus?
Yep.
The whole tomb?
No, the inside of it.
The inside of it.
The whole inside was solid gold.
Wow.
And a French guy.
A French guy, go on.
That came, George Benedict, he came to visit and look at King Tut's tomb. And he asked some guy, George Benedict asked some guy if he could take some of the treasures inside of his tomb back to France.
And then what happened?
And then Benedict collapsed and died.
Oh, do you know Do you know why? Do you know what that is an allusion to, Liz?
The curse of
The curse of King Tut's tomb. That's right.
Because I got to play George Benedict.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, in the little skit that you did in class.
Yeah, and I got to fall.
You got to fall because you were dead.
I got to say, Garza, what if we were to bring some of these treasures back to France?
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting French-American accent.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Well, I mean, it's important to note, King Tut was a big part of popular culture in the United States. If you think about the Mummy movies that we know of, Alyssa, that we watch around Halloween, 1932's Mummy in particular with Boris Karloff, those were all created in the aftermath of the cultural uproar around King Tut and the potential curse of King Tut's tomb. And then, of course, in the, I want to say 1970s, there was Steve Martin, who had a top music hit with his version of King Tut, the song, which I don't think you've ever heard, have you?
No, but I have one more thing to add about social studies.
Okay, go ahead.
So, who was the girl pharaoh? It was a girl pharaoh, and she killed herself because of her husband killing himself because they lied to make the guy think that the girl died.
That sounds like the plot of Romeo and Juliet, actually, I think.
Well, that's not it.
Are you talking about Cleopatra for instance?
That
one. I see. Interesting. Fascinating.
I couldn't really remember her name, though.
You know, Liz.
Cleo, the condensation.
No, Cleopatra, not Cleopatra. She's not Australian.
No, I never said Cleo. I was talking about Cleo.
Oh, of course. Hey,
Cleo, the bathroom's free.
Liz.
Oh no, Ema, the condensation.
This has been Down Under with Alyssa.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a recurring segment on the Candlecast?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Cleo, the condensation of the candles.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah.
Just a moment ago, we were talking about old black and white horror movies.
Yeah.
In 1922, the film Nosferatu premiered in Germany. Do you know what Nosferatu is?
Was it a mummy?
He's a vampire.
Oh.
Yeah. Count Orlok, the vampire, played by a man named Max Schreck, which incidentally was the character name of Christopher Walken's character in Batman Returns. He played a guy named Max Schreck.
We love Shrek.
We do.
And Fiona and Donkey.
Let's get through the rest of this here.
Donkey.
The U.S. Navy commissioned its first aircraft carrier, which is the USS Langley. In California, the Hollywood Bowl and the Rose Bowl both opened that year. The USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, was formed. Vegemite, Liz, was invented in 1922.
Oh, no.
Have you ever had, speaking of Australians, have you ever had Vegemite?
No, but Uncle Matt asked me to have it, and then I said, sure, because I was up for a challenge, and then he said, well, I was assuming you would say no since we threw it out.
Oh, so they didn't actually have any.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
they tried it and they said it was gross.
We ate Vegemite one time when I was a child because we had a distant relative who had been living in Australia who came to visit. His name was Sal Zachariah, I think.
Is he still alive?
Oh, I can't imagine that he is. He was very, very old, and this was like 30 years ago.
I thought he was a family.
He was a family member. But that was the only time we had ever met him in our lives. We didn't really know him.
Oh.
But from Australia, he brought some things with him. He brought boomerangs for all the kids, which were a lot of fun, and I still have that.
It's sitting in our garage.
That's right. And he also brought a little can of Vegemite that we all tried, and we all agreed that it was disgusting.
Yeah.
But I would like to try it again. I think my palate has changed a little bit. I would be willing to try the umami flavors of Vegemite again.
What did it taste like when you did have it?
I remember that it tasted kind of salty and yeasty, I think. Yeah,
Ew.
It wasn't great. We just had it on like a piece of bread by itself. I don't recall liking it very much.
I saw this girl, she tried it and she thought it was like chocolate because I guess she hasn't. She like came across it.
Oh, sure.
And she said it looked like chocolate. So when she went to eat it, people were telling her to eat it on bread.
Uh-huh.
She ate it on bread and she goes, this is not chocolate.
Do you usually eat chocolate on bread?
I do. I eat Nutella on bread.
Yeah, that's true. You know what was interesting when I was trying to learn how to bake baguettes, which I still have not figured out exactly. I'm on like my 6th batch and it's not going very well.
Yeah, you get really mad when your bread fails.
I want oven spring and I can't get oven spring and it's frustrating for me.
What is oven spring?
Oven spring is when you put yeasted bread into the oven and in the first few moments of baking, it pops up really, it rises and expands in the oven really dramatically and it's called oven spring. whatever the case is, when I was researching all that, I found that a lot of people, when they have fresh baguettes, will like to eat them with some dark chocolate, which is kind of interesting.
I do.
Yeah, that's right. You just said you like Nutella and bread. In fact, you have those little snack packs that have Nutella and breadsticks in them.
Yeah, but I haven't had those in a while.
I think we might have like one more downstairs if you want to try to find it.
I have no clue where that would be.
No, I don't either. I do have a clue about a few people who were born in 1922 list to round this out. Betty White, Stan Lee from Marvel Comics, and your boy, Boutros Ghali, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, were all born in 1922, among many other famous people.
Boutros
Ghali. Liz.
Ghali. Yeah.
We were talking about our boy Hans Riegel, moving from our boy Boutros Ghali back to our boy Hans Riegel. He started making candy in his home kitchen in 1920. All he had with him was a bag of sugar, a stove, a pot, a rolling pin, and a stool to sit on. That was it. The next year, 1921, he hired his wife as the first ever employee of the Haribo company, and she started delivering the candies that he was making to their customers via her bicycle.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What does via mean again?
By way of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. The year after that, 1922, he invents gummy bears, and then everything changes. But, Liz, he didn't stumble upon the magic that we know of, like the Haribo Gold Gummy Bear right away.
Haribo.
The first treat that he invented was called the Dancing Bear Treat, and it wasn't like those little tiny chewy gummies that we see now. They were bigger. They looked like actual bears. They were like not the little anthropomorphic teddy bear kind of bear shape that we see. This looked like a natural, real bear, and it was a bit larger. These were modeled after the dancing street bears, and the idea was to simply have like a shape and a character that people, little children in particular, would know and could identify with. And Hans Riegel, for what it's worth, seemed to me to be a pretty good dude. He wanted to make nice things for children, especially at a time in Europe, which, in the interwar period there, things were not so great. So in 1936, in particular, Hans Riegel started a tradition at the Haribo factory where children in the village nearby would go out in the autumn and they would gather up horse chestnuts that had fallen off trees. And then they would bring them to the factory gates of the Haribo factory, and Hans would take them all in, and he would feed them to the deer that lived on the factory property. And in return, for those children gathering the horse chestnuts, he would give them these giant bags full of candy. And it became like an annual tradition. It was really neat.
Oh my goodness, I lost my breath there. That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It wasn't until 1960, which was 15 years after Hans Riegel Sr. had died, actually, that his family took over the company. And Haribo started shrinking the bears down in size to make them smaller and bite-sized, and then they called them golden bears. So we went from dancing bears to golden bears, and that's what we have today, more or less. There were some slight shape and compound flavor changes along the way. Haribo, Liz, expanded to the U.S. in the 1980s, and that's when most Americans finally got to eat gummy bears. Although in 1981, there were at least 2 U.S.-based manufacturers that were making their own versions of gummy bears, about a year before Haribo opened up its first office here. Haribo is scheduled now to open its first U.S. manufacturing plant in Wisconsin later this year in 2023. And Liz, they are currently making about how many gold bears every day, would you guess?
Well, I can see what it says, so I'm just going to take a random guess. I'm going to say 99 million.
Wow, you were so close to actually reading the words that are right on the screen in front of you. They make about 100 million Haribo gold bears every day.
Wow.
Yeah, here's a couple of interesting notes about the company. Hans Riegel Sr.'s sons, Hans Jr. and Paul Riegel, they both fought for Germany in World War II. They were captured by Allied forces and imprisoned. When they got out after the war, they had to completely rebuild the company from the ground up. It had mostly lapsed. There were no more employees or manufacturing techniques. There were some interesting claims, Liz, around the turn of this century, the early 2000s, that the Haribo company might have been using slave labor during the war because there were a number of German companies that were co-opted by the Nazi regime and were forced to use slave or forced labor during their operations. Yes.
I learned something about World War II, too.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So, in ELA, we're reading a book, and it was either World War I or World War II. I can't really remember, but, so the brothers of these best friends, they got drafted to war. And so when you're drafted, you have no choice, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And so the bully, the mean guy, the mean little boy in their grade, his older brother, he has two older brothers. They were both drafted, and one of them went to war, and the other one hid. And it was like illegal if you were drafted to be like, what was it called again?
A draft dodger.
Oh, yeah, but there's another word.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. You keep going. I'm going to think about this.
You're in the middle of the story. You have to finish it.
Oh my goodness, But like, he didn't go because he didn't want to kill people.
Sure.
So yeah, that's it.
Oh, that is the end of the story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a nice story.
I need to remember that name, though.
What was this story called? Do you remember?
Stepping on the crack.
Stepping on the crack?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. We'll have to look that up.
Their old, like, saying was like, step on a crack, break Hitler's back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's a great segue, or Alyssa, I think you call them segment switcher-uppers. Haribo denies that it ever used any slave labor to support the Nazi Party. There doesn't seem to be much evidence to support the allegations that they did, especially since candy making was not really a priority for the Nazis at the time. They weren't particularly interested in that. They were mostly putting forced labor into things like coal mines.
Yikes.
And there doesn't seem to be any evidence either, at least that I could find in our very quick research, that the Regal brothers were part of the Nazi Party. They were simply fighting on behalf of Germany because they had to.
So they were drafted?
You know what? Didn't say, but they were allowed to return to their work after the war by the Allies. So that usually means that they were probably like not as bad as some of the other people that were hanging around that conflict.
And also with gummy bears, if you put them in water, they like grow.
Wow, that came out of nowhere.
I was just thinking of it. Yeah.
Well, let's get back to talking about gummy bears and get away from World War II for a moment.
I was just talking about gummy bears.
Yeah, I know. We do have to talk about the fact that the dancing bears that gummy bears were modeled after were a bit of an abomination, actually. This is pretty terrible what they did. Little bears were mostly poached from the wild, taken from their families when they were cubs, and they were abused terribly to train them to dance and perform in the streets. Oh. This is how, Alyssa, they were made to dance. So the trainers, if you could even call them that, would get a metal plate and they would put it over an open fire and they would force the bear to stand on the plate while they played music. And as the fire heated up the plate, it would get so hot that they would have to hop back and forth on their paws to keep from burning. And that became, in a sense, classical conditioning for them because they learned to associate the pain of the fire and the burning with music. And so whenever someone would play or turn on music for them, they would instinctively hop back and forth on their feet, and it would look like they were dancing. This was barbaric, in a word, of course, Alyssa.
That's so mean.
It is pretty mean. It's pretty terrible. It is a practice that has been... it is, yes, 100% animal abuse. It's a practice that's been outlawed for some time now.
Good.
Yeah, that is good. You know what else is good, Liz? In the intervening period between 1922, when the first gummy bear was invented, and now, we have seen the creation of a veritable gummy universe. There is gummy everything, Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a marketing firm called Mintel Food and Drink that was quoted in the New York Times that says that gummies are the most popular kind of candy that there is today. There are at least 120 different variations of just Haribo gummies. Some of them are country exclusives, like in Turkey, for example, you can get gummy dentures, like gummy teeth with gums attached, which is really kind of weird.
Oh, those are in our store.
Yeah. You can get gummy milkshakes in the United Kingdom. In France, you can get little blue gummy Smurfs, like the cartoon.
We have gummy Smurfs here.
That's right. You can find varieties of Albanese gummies. They make these very soft gummy bears that some people prefer to the hard and chewy Haribo gummy bears. Our buddies Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning did a gummy bear taste test, and they said that the Albanese were the best of the bunch that they tried out.
What was second?
I believe Haribo was second. Yeah, Brock's, which makes candy corns, makes gummy bears. There are Black Forest organic gummy bears, Trolley Gummy, just about everything. And the Golitz Company, which is now Jelly Belly, also makes gummy bears.
Their least favorite?
Their least favorite? You know what? I don't remember. I kind of skipped ahead to where they were talking about which one they like the best. Liz, one of your favorite stores, Five Below in particular, has a really good gummy selection.
Yeah, that's where I go because it's for poor people like me.
Who have $5 or less?
Yep.
You know what? Count me.
They have a weird section for, it's like Five Below Premium. and it's like a 5 or more section.
Oh, so they're kind of cheating on their name there.
Yeah.
You know what, Liz?
What?
I went to Five Below today so that I could check to see.
Me?
Yes, without you on the way home from work, to check to see if there were any types of gummy bears there that we needed to assess for this show today. In fact, and we'll talk about this later, I was there looking for one item in particular, which, spoiler alert, I did not find. So we're going to get to that in a moment.
Did you find anything?
I found, you know what I found? I found that there are a lot of Harry Potter butterbeer treats that I think we're going to have to try. There were butterbeer gummies, butterbeer chocolates. There were little, I forget what they were. They were these little multicolored gummies. They had the Bertie Bott's Every Flavored Beans, obviously, which we've tried before. There were a lot of interesting Harry Potter treats that were in the gummy section.
Wow.
You know what I didn't see, Liz? I didn't see some other sort of more international variations on gummy treats. There are these Tex-Mex gummies that are coated in a sort of sweet and savory and sour fruit powder, almost like a tahini.
Oh, I don't like tahini.
There is a spicy gummy list. It's touted as the world's spiciest gummy. It's called the Lil Nitro.
I've seen people try that.
Oh, I bet you've seen that on like TikTok or YouTube or Reels or something like that.
Yeah.
It's about 9 million Scoville units.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. On TikTok, like we were just talking about, there are these videos that are part of a movement called Candy Talk, where you can find like these endless loops of videos of just gobs and gobs of gummy candies that are being poured into bowls with hundreds of thousands or even millions of views of just gummy candies being poured from one container into another one.
I watch these people and they make like taffy candy.
Uh-huh.
And they do like these really cool different designs. And they did a Wednesday one.
Wednesday, like Wednesday Addams from the new Netflix show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Have you seen, Alyssa, on YouTube, the Gummy Bear techno song?
No.
It's like, I'm a gummy bear. Oh,
yeah.
You know that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I checked the other day. That video, Liz, has been viewed nearly 3 billion times. Billion with a B. That is unbelievable to me.
That is crazy.
And you know, on the YouTube app, if you go down to the bottom, to the scrubbing bar where you can move back and forth through time through the video, if you check out the full website, not just the app site, you can see sort of like a histogram, a plot of the most popular points in the video. And obviously the beginning is the most popular because everybody clicks on it and then they watch it for a little while and they click off and do something else. But there's one other spike in the video that everybody like scrubs to and watches. And it's the part where the little gummy bear has his bathing suit on and he's shaking his butt.
Oh. Gummy, 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 gummy bear.
Yeah, why do you think gummies are so popular, Liz?
Because they're cute.
They are cute, aren't they? All those little gummy candies of all the different things.
Yeah.
And some of them are pretty good too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There are sour gummies. We like those a lot.
Yeah.
Like Sour Patch Kids, I guess, sort of fall into this category.
I don't like sour candy other than
Sour gummies.
Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, that's right. You had some sour peach rings this week that were pretty good, right?
Sour? They're not sour.
Oh, they didn't have the sour flavoring on the outside, just the regular sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, so those were probably super sweet then, huh?
Yeah, they're so good.
Have you ever had, Alyssa, gummy vitamins?
Yes.
By any chance?
I actually love vitamins, so I actually sometimes sneak a extra.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. You like vitamins now because vitamins are essentially just gummy bears. Kids like gummy bears, but they didn't like vitamins that they had to swallow or that were like super chalky.
Yeah.
So companies started putting vitamins in gummy candies themselves. It started with a company called Hero Nutritionals, and they made a product called Yummy Bears in 1997. And now, gummy vitamins are some of the best-selling vitamins on the entire vitamin market. They had more than $7 billion worth of gummy vitamin sales in 2022.
That's good.
Well, people like those gummy vitamins, kids in particular, because they have like a ton of added sugar to them. And in fact, that makes it easy to overeat them. You just said that sometimes you would sneak an extra vitamin because they're so yummy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like the princess ones.
Well, there is a problem with that, Alyssa, with even princess vitamins, that if you eat too many of them, you could get a condition called vitamin toxicity.
Ooh.
It's very rare. It's not going to happen if you sneak an extra one every now and then. Mostly you just pee out all the excess vitamins that you've ingested. Here's an interesting fact that I found out. Some of the newest gummy vitamins may even help your teeth, not just the rest of your body, but your dental health as well, because they have an antibacterial additive in them called xylitol that helps ward off tooth decay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Did you know, Liz, that gummies, not just gummy vitamins, might also be considered in some way a health food?
Wow.
Yeah, athletes premier athletes around the world will eat gummies to get a little burst of sugar. Marshawn Lynch, the football player, famously would eat Skittles during his NFL games, kind of for the same reason. And there are some weightlifters in particular that will eat gummy bears or other gummy candies just after a workout because there is this 30 to 120 minute glycogen metabolic window that you get after you work out. And your body gets better at processing those sugars and turning them into fuel that your body can use.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to actually do that, Liz. After I would have a workout at the gym, I would eat like a handful of Skittles or gummy bears.
Well, is that why you always have like candy in your soccer bag?
Sure.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah, mostly it's just because I'm hungry. Last night when we played soccer, I ate a handful of root beer jelly beans at halftime.
I love those things.
Yeah, so all this stuff can help your body out after all. It's pretty neat, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're laughing because you've seen the heading on the notes here. Something else might happen, Liz. What is that? What do you think?
Gummy bear diarrhea.
Oh, yeah. So Haribo was experimenting for a brief period of time with a recipe change for sugar-free gold bears. These have now been discontinued, obviously.
Because they give you diarrhea.
Yeah. In an attempt to reduce the sugar in their products, they would swap out plain sugar for a compound called maltitol, which is a sugar alcohol that's used in a sweetener. And the thing about that is that it is indigestible, mostly. It means it gives your body fewer calories overall, so they were kind of touting this as like a diet food. But also that means that the additives want to get out of your body as quickly as possible. And some people picked up on this, and they said the magic number was like 15 to 20. If you ate that many sugar-free gummy bears, you are getting what one Amazon reviewer called an intestinal power wash.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty gross, huh?
That's disgusting.
Here's another good internet story about gummy bears. This happened on Reddit. It was called the 13-year-long gummy bear deceit. And this happened last year. There was a Redditor who confessed to keeping a dark secret from his wife for a very long time. And it was because the woman that he was married to didn't like any candies that were flavored lime or orange. And she would always hand those off to him. And they had an agreement where they would share equally the candy that they bought. So he would usually get a little bit extra because he would eat all the lime and orange. And mostly this was things like Skittles, when the green used to be lime and then not green apple, although they've switched that back within the last few years.
Yeah. I think they actually switched it back like either 2 years ago or last year or something like that.
Yeah. This also, however, Liz, included the Haribo Gold Bears. But here's the thing. The green Haribo Gold Bears are not lime.
They're strawberry.
They're strawberry, which, Alyssa, I've been eating these my entire life. I was today years old when I found that out.
I knew that.
I didn't know. I just thought they were delicious, but I didn't know what flavor they were. I thought that Haribo somehow had found a way to make lime delicious again.
I just before I eat something, I always look at what color the flavor is. Because I do not like randomized stuff. So I always look first.
Yeah, well, this Redditor knew it, and he had known it for 13 years, and he had been gaslighting his wife about that. And when she discovered that he had been eating more than his fair share of their gummy bears, she stopped sharing with him altogether. And Liz, she even started eating the orange ones out of spite, even though she didn't like them.
Ha ha. Ha ha.
That was a good one, Nelson. Hey, here's something that I like, Liz. And we just watched the introduction to this show a moment ago. Disney's...
Wait, Dad, before you say that.
Yes, dear.
So when I was at a sleepover with my friend, so it's Ella. We talk about her all the time.
Shout out to friend of the show, Ella.
But it was 12 at night, and she put on the TV at the highest volume, the ha-ha, on a loop for 10 hours, and she left it on for an hour.
And did her mother come in and throttle her?
Not exactly. She was like, Ella, turn that off. It's 12 o'clock.
You guys have some kind parents, I will tell you that.
Yeah?
You know what? My parents were kind because, Liz, when I was a kid, they let me watch cartoons on television, and one of those was called Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. I absolutely adored this cartoon when I was a kid. Gummy Bears, the candy, Liz, became so popular in the United States in the 1980s that by 1985, they had their own cartoon. And yes, Disney's Gummy Bears cartoon is based on Gummy Bears, the candy.
Wow.
Yeah, it originally aired on NBC. It was produced by the Disney company. And the reason for that is because at the time, allegedly, Disney CEO Michael Eisner had a son named Breck Eisner, and he liked Gummy Bears. Breck Eisner does sound like Brock Lesnar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he liked Gummy Bears a lot. And here's what happened. Michael Eisner was trying to get a new cartoon made for television. And so the company had a bunch of fledgling writers, and he invited them to his house in Beverly Hills. It was on a Sunday morning because that was the only time that he wasn't like actively working on other stuff for the company. They were all sitting around his pool, and he told them that his kid had just eaten this new candy at summer camp called Gummy Bears, and that he really liked them, and that they should make a cartoon show about it.
Whoa.
That was it. That was the genesis of Gummy Bears on television, and really the genesis of the Disney afternoon and the renaissance of Disney animation, because Michael Eisner's son ate gummy bears at summer camp and told his dad he liked him, and then he said, yeah, whatever, make a cartoon about it.
Wow.
If you want to know more about the history of the influence of a young Breck Eisner, you should listen to a show called Podcast the Ride. Those guys love Michael Eisner. They love the Eisner family. They talk about it all the time. It's very funny stuff. Do you know, Lissa, what the Gummy Bears cartoon is actually about? It's about a candy, but what is like the premise of it? Because it's wild.
Well, I've watched the intro of it, and I saw a dragon and gummy bears. So what I'm assuming
okay.
is that these are gummy bears, different colored bears that go on an adventure, and the dragon helps them.
Ooh, that's a good guess. So the dragon is part of the medieval mythology around the Gummy Bears cartoon, because gummy bears in the show are an ancient race of anthropomorphic bears that were hunted to near extinction by humans because the humans were jealous that the gummy bears had magical and mechanical powers and advancements. I'm not making any of this up, Liz. And when the series picks up, that first episode that we were watching, there was only one tribe of gummies left, and they lived underneath an old tree that was outside of a medieval village, and the evil duke that lived in the castle wanted to find them because he had heard legends that this thing that they made called gummy berry juice would grant humans super strength.
Wow.
Yeah, it was set in a medieval location because the Disney company had been successful with animation set in medieval times like Snow White or Sleeping Beauty. And the show was good. Gummy Bears was good. It ran for 6 seasons. The theme song was an absolute banger. Love it.
A banger.
And
speaking of bangers,
yes,
my guitar teacher taught me how to play Party in the USA.
Oh, wow.
Okay, carry on.
Thank you for that digression.
This life-changing information.
Oh, that was good information. Your music teacher, your guitar teacher is a real heavyweight out there, Liz.
Yeah, he also likes this, apparently this song was, the worst song. And apparently, I think it's called, Friday by, Rebecca someone.
Oh, Rebecca Black. Yeah, I know that song.
He said that's his favorite song in the whole world.
Oh, wow. I should probably meet this guy. We sound like we would be friends.
Do you like it?
No, I absolutely despise that song, but my friend Jim likes that song. Shout out to Jim.
He's really funny, Dad. I think you would like him anyway.
I think so, too.
He gives us the Home Depot intro song. Oh, that's what he calls it, rather.
The Home Depot intro song. Oh, that is a song, I think, by the Black Keys, which I like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what else I like quite a bit, Liz?
Gummy Bears.
I do like Gummy Bears quite a bit. I also like the voice talent in the Gummy Bears cartoon. There were lots of very established voice actors in this show. Lorenzo Music did some voices. He was the voice of Garfield in the cartoons, and Dr. Peter Venkman on The Real Ghostbusters. Paul Winchell, who was Gargamel on Smurfs. We talked about Gummy Smurfs earlier. And of course, June Foray, who was the more or less like the small child or female voice in just about every cartoon ever. So this was a real heavyweight voice roster here.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Do you want to tell everyone why you were momentarily distracted there?
I was putting my hands in my pocket and I felt some money, so I took it out.
You found $20 in your leggings just now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's okay, though.
Yeah, that's right. This was the first major serialized animated show made by the Disney company, which is kind of interesting because if you think about the time that it comes out, the mid-1980s, Disney's in a bit of a lull. They are out of the golden age of classic animation, but they have not yet hit the renaissance of Disney animation with The Little Mermaid and The Lion King and things like that. But the success of Gummy Bears was sort of the forerunner to the Disney Afternoon TV block. Have you ever heard of this, Liz?
No.
The Disney Afternoon was like appointment viewing for many kids of my generation. This was when they showed DuckTales and Tailspin and Rescue Rangers and Gargoyles and all that kind of stuff.
I love making gargoyles in art class.
These are different kinds of gargoyles, but I cannot impress upon you what a big deal the Disney Afternoon and like Saturday morning cartoons were in the era before there was streaming and on-demand video.
Saturday morning live.
Yeah, if you wanted... if you wanted to watch cartoons, Liz, you had to be there for Saturday Morning Live. You had to be up early, parked in front of the TV set with the remote control and probably a bowl of sugar cereal. This was the only way to actually see cartoons then. You didn't know what was coming on. You had no idea what was up next. You didn't know what episodes were airing. You couldn't fast forward through commercials. The rush of a Saturday morning with cartoons was insane. Although the rush also could have been the Fruity Pebbles. One thing that was prevalent in the Gummy Bears cartoon that was a big deal in cartoons of the 80s and 90s was the idea of the gummy berry juice, Alyssa, that the gummy bears would brew that would give them special power. There were all sorts of power potions or power foods in cartoons back then.
Like the Popeye spinach.
Yeah, Popeye spinach is the big one. Popeye eats spinach and he gets special powers. Pac-Man in the video game and also the Pac-Man cartoon would eat these things called power pellets, which would give him special powers. If you remember Banana Man, the cartoon, he would eat bananas and turn into a superhero. There were potions in video games. I'm thinking of all the things that Link takes when he's rolling around in The Legend of Zelda. And Liz, probably my favorite thing about Gummy Bears, the cartoon, was this book that we had when I was growing up called The Book of Yummies, Liz. This was an Adventures of the Gummy Bears cookbook about treats that you could make at Christmas time. For some reason, this existed. A Christmas-themed Gummy Bears cookbook based on a cartoon, based on a candy.
Wow.
Yeah, it starred all of the characters from the Adventures of the Gummy Bears cartoon. All I wanted in the world, Alyssa, when I was that age, was to have some gummy berry juice so that I could bounce around and have special powers.
Wow.
It didn't work out that way. Do you want to know what happened instead?
What?
All right, so in the book, there was a recipe for gummy berries. And I assumed they were the next best thing because the gummy berry juice was made from gummy berries. So if I could eat some gummy berries, I would get those special powers, right?
Yeah.
So I begged Grandma to make the gummy berries in the book for me. And she didn't really want to, but it was Christmas time and she relented eventually. And she was baking anyway. So she baked off a batch of gummy berries. And they were like these little cakes, but they were red because they had lots of red food coloring in them. And they looked like sort of inflated cakey versions of the gummy berries. And I remember them being quite delicious up to a point. And I say up to a point because they were so good that I ate one and loved it, but I realized that I didn't get any special powers from it. So I ate another one and then another one and nothing happened. And so I kept eating them, expecting that I would soon be able to bounce around my house. And then something did happen, Liz, after I ate the entire tray.
Did you have a stomach ache?
I got very sick and I threw up on the living room rug.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, and because of all the red food coloring in the gummy berries, it was bright red.
Ew.
It was disgusting. It was not my favorite part of that Christmas. But Liz,
what's your favorite part of the show?
do you know what my favorite part of this show is?
What?
Alyssa reads the ingredients.
I'm going to go right into this one.
Do it.
Glucose syrup from wheat or corn, sugar, gelatin, dextrose from wheat or corn contains less than 2% of citric acid, artificial and natural flavors, palm oil, palm kernel oil, carnauba wax, white beeswax, yellow beeswax, yellow 5, red 40, blue 1, and may contain wheat and traces of milk.
Yeah, so gummy bears are really just sugar and gelatin and wax, stuff to make the sugar stick together. This is pure candy.
Yeah.
And we are going to try some Haribo gummy bears.
Yeah.
Right now. So let's get to the rules of the game. Liz, Junk Feud is a culinary clash to see which treat will be crowned the undisputed champion of snacks. It's a king of the mountain style battle in which the reigning champ takes on a new challenger each week to see which snack reigns supreme. And Alyssa.
What?
The reigning defending undisputed champion of snacks is banana cream pie.
Bananas.
Banana cream pie was successful in its 4th title defense last week against soft pretzels. Yeah. And I think, Alyssa, in a better world, soft pretzels would have gone up against a softer champion and been able to overcome the odds. But this is a post-apocalyptic hellscape and the reign of terror continues. Can anyone stop the behemoth made of bananas and cream, Liz?
Dad, do you know, I don't know, what's this guy's name? He does this he's really big and he does a lot of food videos.
He's really big and does a lot of food videos. That is describing every food reviewer on YouTube.
No, it's really unhealthy.
Joey's World Tour?
No.
Dame Drops?
Oh,
Nikocado Avocado?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So, someone said he looked like a behemoth online. And he reacted to it and he goes, I am not a behemoth. And then he goes, and then the guy sitting next to him goes, then what are you? And he goes, skinny.
Well, I mean, it's not really terribly nice to make fun of the way that people look, and I hope that he stays as healthy as he possibly can, I guess is the right thing to say there.
Let's just say I hope he gets better.
Yeah, sure. That's a nice way to think about it. And things are about to get better for us, Liz, because we are about to try some gummy bears. We have Haribo Gold Bears. We're going to try and we're going to rank all the flavors. There's the red raspberry, orange, which is orange, obviously. Yeah. Green strawberry, I just found out. The colorless or clear bears, which you said are pineapple. Those are your favorite. And then lemon yellow.
Yeah.
Here's something interesting that I found out. If you buy German Gold Bears, Haribo Gold Bears in Germany, you get an additional flavor, which is apple. But we don't have those in our batch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here is, Alyssa, a share-size bag of Haribo Gold Bears. It says the original since 1922. That's correct. Kids and grown-ups love it.
So... The happy world of Haribo.
Kids and grown-ups love it so. The happy world of Haribo. Very good. Thank you.
Can I open it?
Go ahead. Pop it open. Let's see. And then I would like, if you don't mind, lay out one of each flavor for each of us.
Ooh.
How do they smell?
Very Haribo-ish.
Very Haribo-ish. Very sweet, I would imagine,
so
right?
We're going to go red, yellow.
Colorless.
Clear. And green. Is that it?
There's an orange in there.
And then orange.
Very nice.
You can go. You can get some.
Thanks. I'm left to fend for myself.
Yes. I'm going to put them in rainbow order. I wish there was a blue gummy bear in Haribo. Like blue raspberry. I don't even like blue raspberry, though. So
You know what there was, Liz? I saw at the store today when I was at Five Below. Last year, because it was the 100th anniversary of Haribo Gummy Bears, they had special blue birthday hats inside the bag.
Oh. Did you get them?
I didn't. By the way, why did you open this bag like this? Like an absolute animal. You just ripped down the entire side of this bag.
It's fine.
I guess we're going to have to redo.
Rainbow order.
Red, orange, yellow, green, and then clear brings up the end. So the gold bag of Haribo Gold Bears, iconic obviously, on brand because it's gold. These little gummy bears that have popped out are squishy.
Hard.
A little bit hard, yeah. They do smell very sweet and fruity, every one of them. These are unmistakably fruit chews. And I will say, as you already eat your red one, the shape of the gummy bears, the molded shape of the gummy bears with their flat backs and their little paws and their little ears is wonderful. I mean, it's like impossible to be a kid and look at this and not think that it's great. So yeah, let's try them. So you have red raspberry first. I'll say that this is a very soft raspberry flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Raspberry is sometimes a little bit tart, a little bit assertive. Sometimes even a little bit bitter. These are not at all. This is super sweet. If you told me this was like apple or cherry or something else red, I probably wouldn't argue that much, but it's good. There is definitely a little bit of a soft raspberry undertone there. Next up is orange.
Ooh, that kicks in really fast.
Big hit of orange right up front. Very citrusy. These are super chewy, we should note. The Haribo Gold Bears are known for having a little bit of a denser texture to them. They're not hard, but they are chewy, like very chewy. Okay, orange is good. So far, I think red is better than orange. So just in my hierarchy, that's where they go.
I say orange to red so far.
You think orange better than red so far?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Here's yellow. This is lemon. Just my initial guess before eating it is that this is going to be my least favorite flavor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I do not like this one.
I think that lemon is a good flavor for candies because it's a nice contrast from the actual flavor of lemons, which is a little bit harsh and bitter. Obviously, it makes your face pucker up. So dumping a lot of sugar into something lemony is a nice way to get sort of like a fresh but sweet tasting candy. Again, very citrusy.
I don't like this one that much.
On its own, if this was all that I had, I'd be happy about it. But yeah, up against orange and red raspberry, lemon not my favorite. Still good though. I mean, it's a gummy bear. There's no going wrong here.
Going with the strawberry.
Now, the very controversial green strawberry. Why do you think, Liz, why do you think that they made strawberry green?
Well, there's already a red one.
Yeah. Maybe it was too hard to make raspberry like dark red or purple or something like that. Also, the tops of strawberries are green, so that works. You know what's interesting? These just taste generically sweet. I can tell that it's strawberry flavored. Strawberry flavored candy tastes a lot different than real strawberries, but these have a little bit of that fruit juiciness underneath them. But it's not terribly assertive. I kind of like that. I think these are my favorites so far. Green strawberry, then red raspberry, then orange, then lemon. What about you?
Ooh.
As you are squishing the head of your pineapple bear right now.
So far I already know what the pineapple ones taste like. So pineapple first, then orange, then red, then green, then yellow.
Well, I'm going to try pineapple. Oh, wow. Pineapple is a big flavor upon first chew. Strawberry sort of hung around in the background for a little while before asserting itself. Strawberry was good, but pineapple is right up in your face.
I like how it's like juicy almost.
Yeah, there is something about the natural and artificial flavors in these that make them mimic the way that your body responds to the real fruits. Like I'm salivating a little bit based on the perceived acidity of an actual pineapple, even though there's probably not any in here. Still very good, though. I think I'll say, in rank order, pineapple, strawberry, raspberry, orange, and lemon for me. I think pineapple is the best of all of these.
Me too.
And I think also making them colorless and clear is a great differentiator. Because everybody looks at the clear gummy bear and says, what the heck is that?
It's really good, though.
Yeah, I think these are great. And you know what, Liz?
What?
We've got a couple run-ins here.
Yeah, we do.
It's going to be a three-way dance because I wanted to try the other widely available gummy bear flavors.
I'm excited for the Albanese ones.
Yeah, we've got a bag of Albanese, world's best, 12 flavors of gummy bears.
I've had these in my friend and Ella's truck, and they're really good.
These are gluten-free, fat-free, and low sodium. There are more than a rainbow's worth of flavors here.
So there is red, orange, clear, light pink, like a corally color. There's like a lime green color. There's a grape color, like
we call purple the grape color, dear.
Oh yeah. Like a cotton candy pink, like a really light pink.
Uh-huh.
There's a blue. There's a yellow. There's a green. There's another clear one, more like a white pearl. And then there's a light blue. It's like a teal.
Like a silver almost.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different flavors of these gummy bears. Hang on one sec. Let's see on the back if it tells us what they actually are. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Read them off.
So there is cherry, strawberry, mango, pineapple, lemon, orange, green apple, watermelon, pink grapefruit, lime, blue raspberry, and grape.
So before we bust into the Albanese, the super soft and squishy gummy bears, I want to also note that we have, in addition, Black Forest Organics So Juicy, So Good gummy bears, and these come in 6 flavors which match the German Haribo gummy bear flavors. Almost, not exactly. There's cherry instead of raspberry. Then there's the traditional lemon, pineapple, orange, and strawberry. Strawberry here is red. There are 2 different red flavors.
This
and then
smells
there's
like medicine.
Woo, that does. That smells like cherry Robitussin. Good grief. And then finally there is apple, which is pink in Black Forest. So let's go through. We're not gonna try and rank all 12 flavors of these. Just grab a handful and tell me what your generalized impressions are of Albanese gummy bears. Immediately, I can see
they're more detailed.
They are bigger.
I want to try.
The
mango.
molds are. Is this a mango one?
No,
it's like pinkish.
I'm assuming it's one of those two.
Yeah, it could be. So here's a blue one. Did you read off all the flavors on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I want to get like a dark green. I'm going to try to guess the flavors because they're not very specific. So
I just tried a blue one, which I think that's easy. That's blue raspberry.
Okay. So let's see. Orange. That's orange.
Yeah. I've got something that looks mostly clear.
Aren't you allergic to mango?
Not really. Somewhat sensitive to it, I guess. It's a cousin of the pistachio and cashew. All right, so I just had a clear one, which I think is pineapple. Here's green. I'm hoping that green is watermelon.
Did you try this one, blue yet?
Wow. You have like the light ice blue there. No, I did not try that. All right, so whatever the green was, it wasn't very good. Green apple, I think that was.
I didn't like it either.
Here's a red. I will say the design of these gummy bears, while not as iconic as Haribo because they haven't been around as long,
It's the same.
they look the same, is better. These are little bears. You can see the pads on the bottom of their paws. They're holding their bellies and smiling. There's a little A on what I'm guessing is a sweater. I hope they're not like branding letters directly into the skin and fur of these bears.
Ooh, red is extremely
red.
Just medicine.
Yep, that red is cherry. You know what it tastes like, Liz?
What?
There was for a period of time a brand of fruit snacks. I forget what they were. Perhaps Welch's, but I don't know for sure.
Dad, there's a difference.
Oh yeah, you've got a yellow and a clear there next to each other.
No, but there's a different yellow.
You have a light yellow and another clear.
I cannot tell.
So I do like the texture of these.
No, look, so this is yellow. One of these is mango, one's pineapple.
You have 3 in a row that look like different shades of yellow there.
Yeah, so this is lemon. I tried that one, and then I tried pineapple, so this has to be mango.
It could be mango. These are good, I will say. I will also say that I don't think they're as good as the Haribos. The flavors,
I'll say that too.
The flavors are too divergent. There are too many of them. I shouldn't be docking them points for having too many flavors. This is an achievement in gummy sophistication here,
These
to
are
have
good.
12 different flavors and colors.
The mango one's really good.
You like the mango one quite a bit.
Yeah.
I like them too. I like that they're soft and chewy. They're more like fruit snacks almost
Yeah.
than gummy bears, or what I traditionally would know as gummy bears from Haribo. But I can't say that the flavors are good enough to compete.
I wouldn't
That
say
watermelon
that they're
was
better,
just
though.
that watermelon was just too far gone, for example. But they're good. I like them. I'm not going to turn them away. If I had a bag of Albanese gummy bears, I would eat them.
I wouldn't eat a lot. They're really getting to my stomach, actually.
Already?
Yeah.
Well, I have bad news for you. We got to try these Black Forest Organics. These look a little bit like they're more detailed, like the Albanese were.
I don't know. The bag just makes it look like medicine again.
These do kind of look like they could be the gummy vitamins, actually.
Yeah, I do not like. Ugh.
Well, let's try them out. The bears have little pine trees on their tummies here.
Wait, can I open them?
Yeah, go ahead. They also don't look to be as happy as the Albanese bears. They don't look like they're smiling, actually.
They're smiling?
Do you think that's a smile?
Look at it.
Yeah, maybe, I guess so. These are smirking bears, maybe. The Albanese bears were very happy for me to eat them. These guys are a little bit nonplussed.
Well, I wouldn't be happy if someone was eating me.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Again, medicine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very unpleasant smell from the bag.
I don't like.
Whatever's going on in there,
They feel.
they
weird.
smell kind of funky.
They felt different. Are you serious?
They are...
I got like all the same. Oh, they're actually all different.
Oh, yeah, they feel a little greasy, actually. That's
Yeah.
weird. So...
They feel like my hair oil.
Oh, I didn't want to know that.
They look fuzzy.
They have distinct feet and hands. So the dyes that these are molded out of, the starch molds probably have like more distinct features. I think these are not...
They all smell different though.
They have a little bit of a pot belly. They're like, these are somewhat obese bears.
So cherry.
The smells are not good. I'm trying a cherry.
All right, we're gonna pick cherry up with my toes.
Oh, disgusting that you're doing that. Not the bears. The bears are fine. That's gross.
So we're gonna try cherry that has not been in my toes.
Well,
How was cherry?
It's very unpleasant. This tastes disgusting. There's a very, very bad chemically plasticky
Ooh.
taste to this. These taste awful.
Oh, I do not like that.
Wow. This says best by March 2020. These are still good.
2020?
2023, sorry. We bought the... That would have been weird. We bought these from a Target very recently. They're not bad. But yeah, oh man. That's very, very gross. I have a light one here that I'm guessing is either strawberry or apple, so I'll try that.
No, this is apple.
Cherry did not taste anything like a cherry. No, very bad. Oh, these are gross, Liz.
I don't like it.
All right, we're resealing this bag.
Hold on,
We're
I want
bailing-
to try pineapple.
We're bailing on the Black Forest Organics.
I'm going to try orange, not pineapple.
I've never had these before. I'm hoping we got a bad batch because I don't want them to be this bad for the sake of everyone else in the world who might have to eat these at some point in time. Good
Orange
grief.
isn't bad. It tastes very artificial, though.
Well, those were roundly terrible, I will say, Alyssa. The Black Forest Organic Gummy Bears. So
orange
we don't even
isn't
need to
bad.
bother ranking those. I will say, Liz.
Look, so I would say cherry and then this one and then cherry.
Yeah, those were really bad.
Out of the two that I ranked.
I don't even think it's worth
Ranking.
I don't even
Do
think
you want
it's
the one
worth
that was in
ranking.
my toes?
I don't. For sure, 100% don't want that. No, not at all. And I don't want any of these. You know what I did want, Liz?
What?
I wanted there to be a final challenger for the fatal four-way of gummy bears today.
There is not.
I wanted to purchase what was described as the world's largest commercially available gummy bear, which is a single 5-pound red gummy bear. But
Wow.
I actually couldn't find one. I went to Five Below thinking they might have them. They had giant gummy bears, what they called giant gummy bears there. They were green. They were about the size of my hand, maybe.
Your hand's big, though.
But they certainly weren't 5 pounds. I wanted the big 5-pounder.
Dad,
And then I
you're
looked.
being greedy.
Well, I looked online. They were like $35 on Amazon. So we'll just pretend that we had one of those at some point in time.
Well, I mean, I have had like the big Coke gummy.
Yeah, the big Coke gummy from Five Below. I think we're going to do a Coca-Cola gummy assessment at some point in time. Probably if we do a Coca-Cola episode.
I love Coke gummies. Those are good.
They are really good. In fact, I had some last night.
Were those mine?
They were yours. I finished your bag of Star Mix.
Dad,
That's delicious.
you ate my rings?
I did. Star Mix, by the way, the #1 selling gummy package in the United
Want these?
Kingdom, from what I understand. No, I don't want those. You can get rid of them. Actually, you know what you can do? You can drop those in your water to see if they expand, like you were saying.
How about I
they're sticky and gross.
They were
so,
in
Liz,
my mouth. Okay.
We're running long here. Let's get... Oh, Liz.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what we think about these snacks. So I should say the thing that we didn't say before. It's crunch time.
Crunch time.
We're going to rate our snacks using a tier list from sprinkles to fun dip.
SPD. Wait.
No.
ST. Ew.
So snacks can be graded A, B, C, D, or F, with the very best treats earning the elusive S tier ranking. The following contest is scheduled for 1 serving.
1 serving.
And is for the undisputed championship of junk food. We already talked about the packaging, the look, the smell, the sound, the taste of all of these
They're bubbling.
treats. Liz, I need to know.
Yes.
We need to hit the bliss point now. What do you think about gummy bears, and where do you rank the ones that we tried?
So,
first of all, let's say Black Forest Organics right out, not eligible for the competition. Absolutely disgusting.
They don't deserve to be
F
here.
tier.
Yeah.
The worst thing we've had on this show so far that wasn't a hamburger flavored candy corn, I think. Right?
Yes.
So, which do you think was better, Haribo Gold Bears or Albanese Gummy Bears?
Haribo.
Yeah, I think Haribo was better too. The Albanese were good. For as far as variety goes, they were interesting. I don't think the flavors matched what they were intending to do as well as Haribo did. So you said the Pineapple Gold Bear was the best. What kind of ranking would you give to each one of the Haribo bears?
So I would give pineapple A.
Uh-huh.
I would give orange B++.
Not a thing, but go ahead.
I would give red B+. I would give green B. And then I would give lemon C-.
Wow. Okay, I'm pretty close to you. I think probably pineapple A-, strawberry also A-, although I like the pineapple a little bit more, but I think they're just about even. Raspberry B+, orange B-, lemon C+. Is that everybody? Did I miss any? That's about right.
Yeah.
And then Albanese bears overall, I think probably are like a C+. They're good, but not great.
Yeah.
But Liz, do you think that any of these gummy bears, any that we've tried at all, can match up against banana cream pie and take the belt from the champ?
I have my answer already. But
and it is?
It's definitely not the same as yours, though.
Oh, go ahead. Let's hear it.
So I would say if I were to have like a bag of just orange and pineapple gummies,
okay,
I would choose that over banana cream pie.
Wow, that is stunning. That would be an upset. But I have bad news for you, kid.
No, Dad.
You don't have just a bag of orange and pineapple gummy bears. You have a bag of all the kinds of gummy bears. Do you think that an orange or pineapple gummy bear by itself is a better treat than a slice of banana cream pie?
No.
No. And I don't either. So what do you think that means?
BANANAS wins again.
Our winner and still reigning defending undisputed champion of snacks, banana cream pie, steamrolling through another competitor. We'll see what it can do up against the Valentine's Day special next week. Liz.
We can get Reese's eggs.
Oh, that's going to be Easter. We can get Reese's hearts for Valentine's Day. That would be a surprise, wouldn't it? Because that's definitely not on the schedule. And surprise, there's no Oreo rule this week, although I think something might be coming up pretty soon. And each week we ask an important question on the show. Will it deep fry, Liz? Can you deep fry this week's snack? Can you deep fry gummy bears?
Maybe, but I don't think it would be good.
You know what? You can, actually. And I was surprised by this, too. And I also don't think it would be good. But there were a few interesting recipes that I found online. Mostly, just like everything else, if you coat gummy bears in a thick enough batter, it will deep fry. And if you put a bunch of red raspberry gummy bears inside of a funnel cake batter and fry it up, it becomes like a small jelly donut.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, at the North Carolina State Fair, a stand called the Goblin Gourmet put a whole bunch of cherry Albanese gummy bears inside of some breading and fried it. And taste testers said that it was like a fried cherry pie. That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what else is interesting, Liz?
The back of the box.
It's time to check out the back of the box, a weekly segment where we play a little game. Alyssa, would you like to play a game? Yes, absolutely, I would.
I kind of don't have a choice.
You don't, that's true. This week's segment on the back of the box is News and Improved. Alyssa, you've heard of snacks reformulating and the marketing copy saying that they are new and improved, but this is News and Improved, Alyssa. And on News and Improved, we read news articles about our mystery snack. And this week in the news, obviously, is gummy bears. And Liz,
What?
I have some recent news articles about gummy bears that you might be interested to hear.
Okay, go ahead.
A man in Boulder, Colorado stabbed with a knife a Barnes & Noble employee after being confronted about stealing gummy bears in the store.
Oh my God.
Do you think you would ever stab anybody over gummy bears?
No.
You know, I went back and I checked the Disney cartoon, The Adventures of the Gummy Bears, and Stabby Gummy was not one of the Disney Gummy Bears lists.
Wow.
Unfortunate. Here's another one. A company in Minnesota was accused by the Food and Drug Administration of selling a gummy product that had 50 times the allowable level of active ingredient in it. Do you know what it was called?
Death by Gummy Bear.
It was called Death by Gummy Bear. Very unfortunate.
Wow.
Finally, rapper Saweetie. You know Saweetie, right?
Yeah.
That's fun to say. Saweetie. What a good name.
Saweetie.
She got a manicure list. She had 2 gummy bears laid out on each one of her fingernails.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have a joke for that. It actually just looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you know what else is cool, Liz?
The end of this show.
This show, that's right. Any final comments before we go?
Nope.
Then I should say that this podcast should reach you in excellent condition, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. If you've got a question for us, you can write to the address on the label. That's junkfoodpod@gmail.com. This podcast has contained your recommended daily allowance of fun. For more, go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you choose to be social and find us at Junk Feud Pod. You can stream with us on Twitch, watch fun-sized snack reviews on YouTube, buy merch on TeePublic, and fund us on Patreon at Junk Feud Pod for exclusive bites. And don't forget to catch all the snaction each and every week wherever you listen to podcasts. Until we see you again, for Alyssa, I'm Mike.
Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on ya.
Bye. I'm a gummy bear.